Who said it's a man's world?
Hello, what's going on, everyone? I'm Bree with Women Love Sports Too, and we're just doing a mini edition today from home, of course. And I am here with such a very accomplished and phenomenal young lady. She's so accomplished, I couldn't remember all of her accolades off the top of my head, so I definitely had to write a couple of them down, and I'm definitely going to make sure that she gets to some more of those accolades as well. Before we get started, though, I do want to say that as we continue to try to work our way back into our normal lives or our new normal, just want to make sure that everyone is still taking precautionary measures, doing social distancing, practicing wearing masks, and things of that nature in public, and protecting ourselves and others. So, without further ado, now this woman is entering her 4th season as assistant coach at Central Arizona College and her 9th season as a collegiate coach. She also coached the New Mexico Junior College for 3 years, and she earned a very impressive 86-14 record. Absolutely amazing. And made 3 NJCAA Division I national tournament appearances, and she won 3 NJCAA Regional 5 championships and the WJCAC title all 3 seasons. Now, this is only just some of the accolades that she has accomplished and has under her belt right now. I'm going to let her give you all the rest of the amazing accomplishments that she has. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Kendra Aaron.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
I'm really excited to be here, and I really appreciate everything that you've done, the time that you're taking out to talk to me, and I just really appreciate it. I laugh. I'm going to correct you a little bit on it. We just finished our 9th season, or well, my 9th season, I guess, and we just finished our 4th season here at Central that I've been here. And if you can't tell, I always talk in the we, like as if there's always a friend of mine that I bring along, apparently. But I just finished my 4th season, and I just finished my 9th season. And it's funny because with all the COVID stuff, it feels like it was an incomplete season. So when you said it, I was like, hey, let's redo it. I'm in. Yeah. So we just finished that season, and we actually went 22-0 in conference this year. And we won our regional championship, which takes us to the national tournament. And with all of COVID happening, they released the bracket, and we got seeded 6th. And then once they had released the bracket, they decided that they were going to go ahead and shut everything down. And they had postponed it first to be the end of April. And then obviously with everything, they just ended up canceling it. So it was a very incomplete season. It was an extremely accomplished season for our team, and it was a great team building. Just overall, they did a lot as a team. I appreciate you giving me credit for all of these accolades, and I wish I could take credit for it. As an assistant coach, you know how that goes. But at the same time, like, it was a huge honor to be able to be a part of those. And it takes a special assistant coach to understand as well that it's so much more, and all the pieces that run together, it's so much more than just anything any one piece could do. And just, we came together as a team, coaches and players all together, and we made some things happen that were really exciting and really fun. And that's part of the reason I enjoy doing this. But yeah.
That's amazing. I absolutely love it. And yes, you are absolutely right. I mean, with the entire COVID situation, I think that kind of threw a lot of things off track. So, hopefully we'll be able to get back soon, you know what I mean, to the season and everything. But 22-0, that is absolutely impressive. So with that being said, being a part of such an amazing program, what got you into coaching?
Yeah, so what actually originally got me into coaching, I wasn't planning on coaching. There would be a lot of times where I'd actually talk to my mom, and I'd be like, well, I don't know if I'm going to coach because I'm really tough, and I don't know if I have the patience, and I don't know. And that was really what I did. And I would go back and forth, and I'd talk to her, and she'd be like, Kendra, think about all the coaches that you've had. And she was like, none of them, they've all been extremely tough coaches, and none of them have been like, so to speak, where they've had patience like you're talking about. And I was like, you're absolutely right. And I respect and adore every single one of those coaches. And I respect them so much that I look back at what is it that they used as coaches? What is it that they did? What is it that they instilled in me as a player? So I tried it out. So I actually majored in math. My undergrad was math. So as I got closer, my senior year at the end, towards the end, I'm like, okay, now it's real life. What's going to happen outside of this? We had a graduate assistant position that was going to be opening right away. I had the honor of, I was going to do that, and I was like, I'll just try it out and see how it goes. Well, our full-time assistant ended up leaving and taking a job to be a head coach. And when she left, they kind of approached me and said, hey, we think you'd be great at this. You understand our program, you understand everything. And so I had the opportunity right out of college. Coach Kelly Kruger, who was my coach, gave me the opportunity to become a full-time assistant, which is why now I have basically almost 10 years under my belt, and I'm barely in my 30s just right away. So yeah, so that's exciting. He gave me a huge opportunity, and it was something that I wouldn't change for the world, because he is so much a teacher of the game. And he is very much like, when we would go recruiting, if I didn't have my notebook and pen out, he'd be like, if we made a rest stop and went to the bathroom on our way to whatever tournament and I didn't pull it back out right away, he's like, where's your paper? Where's your pen? Where's that at? And it instilled those good lessons and those good kind of, those good, not behaviors, but just those good, I can't even think of what it's called.
I'm kind of there with you, because I'm trying to think too, and I don't want to say mannerisms, but or traits or something along that line is. Yeah,
it just, those good characteristics, I guess, of what an assistant is and what an assistant can be. He went through with me right away and mentored me just on everything. This is what you do. This is what you don't do. This is what would be good as an assistant. Understand that you are an assistant, and although you may throw out so many ideas, I may take one. And understand that that's nothing personal.
Right.
And still continue to throw out more ideas and continue to do that and be able to throw out an idea, but also be able to say why.
Yeah.
And so those things are the things that he taught me in a very neutral situation outside of being in the heat of fire, but also he was just a teacher first. And those were things, even as players, we had notebooks and we had to take notes all the time, and so it was something that I absolutely appreciate to this day.
Yeah.
Because it's something that a lot of assistant coaches don't get. And I've noticed that the more I'm in it, the more I've noticed that there's not a lot of assistant coaches that get it, and they're just thrown to the fire and they have to figure it out on their own.
Yeah, and that can be really difficult, especially when you're looking to either build a certain program up or continue to take it to an elevated level. You know what I mean? So it can get really difficult when you don't have that. So that's absolutely amazing that, he was able to do that for you. So you did mention something about patience and, not necessarily maybe having that. What is your ideal player? What does your ideal player consist of?
Oh, wow. Interesting. We're going there.
Yeah.
I can't even say what an ideal player would be, because I think an ideal player would be somebody who works hard, but then somebody that's open to listening and hearing and understanding and doesn't think that they just know it all, because I think you can teach a lot. Obviously, hard work is one of those things you can't really teach, but now that I'm in life coaching, which is crazy, now that I'm in life coaching, I view that player a lot differently too, because I do think there's a mental aspect that can be taught now. Whereas all along, for a long time, I thought that there was no way and no how and no anything like that. And just understanding now that there is, it's just may take a little bit more, and it's not going to be necessarily on the court stuff. And when you say get on the line or you say go hard, they may think they're hard is going, like they may think hard is what they're doing, and in reality it's just not on the same page. And it's not that they're capable of doing it, it's not that they necessarily don't want to do it, it's just that for some reason there's something where it's just not adding up.
Absolutely. And you actually kind of touched on a point that I wanted to segue into, so I thank you for that as well. You don't only coach on the hardwood, but you are a life coach as well, which is absolutely impressive. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I got into life coaching a little bit over a year ago. And again, remember, I just kind of tried coaching. And so I tried coaching, and I was still always, for a while, until probably 2 years ago, I was still kind of like filling my way out of coaching on, is this truly what I meant to do? And it seemed like there was always something missing. And I started life coaching. And when I started life coaching, I really started looking into it for myself and then understanding what life coaching was. I'm like, hey, as coaches, we have a perfect platform to be life coaches. But right now, what we have is our own experience and what we've seen. We don't truly have that basis of actually coaching them. And so what I wanted to do was I wanted to get trained behind it. And I wanted to be able to, if one of my players came in, I can really help them on no matter what it was, no matter if it's something that I've experienced or I've never experienced. I'm not just saying, hey, this is what I would do. And a lot of times in life coaching, I actually don't tell them this is what I would do. Most of the time, I just help them look at their thoughts. I had a player this year come to me and say, like, she came in my office and is like, hey, I got to change this class. This teacher, I can't understand what this teacher is saying. I don't understand what they're doing. They're not explaining things correctly. I need to get out of this class, which she had already started. And I said, okay, let's look at this. If you had a different teacher, or are you telling me that there's no possible way with this teacher that you can pass the class? And she stopped and was like, I mean, I could. And I'm like, okay, well, let's clean up your thoughts about the class first. And let's clean it up instead of just blaming the teacher and saying, like, I got to get out. And what ended up happening is she actually ended up getting a C in the class. And I'm like, but we come in so emotional, we come in so whatever it may be. And so what I do with them is kind of just stop them and slow them down and try to see if it's something that's truly, are we already really behind? Or is it something that it's just we have a thought about what's going on and we think that we can't get out of it? And I'm not sitting there saying like, no, you have to stay in the class.
Right.
Because if that was what she really truly needed to do and decided that she wanted to do, again, I don't tell her what is going to happen. I'll give her the facts of like, this is what you need for eligibility. This is what but I want to teach her how to make a decision out of clean space. I don't want her to make decisions because in life, if she knows how to make a decision out of a clean space, then all of a sudden her decisions in life become a whole lot better rather than making emotionally charged decisions.
Yes, that is so important. And just like to have that, to be able to provide that something extra, I think that it's really advantageous for those girls. And I think that they're actually very fortunate to have you, honestly, to be able to provide that type of insight, if you will, because a lot of us didn't get that. I played basketball myself my entire life. And I was under the coaching and tutelage of, mostly male coaches, but to be able to step aside and talk about various things that are going on outside of basketball and get more than just an opinion from someone, something that's actually going to help me and someone that's going to be more of a guide instead of like a friend that I can just kind of talk to and get some advice from, So I think that is very, very important. And I really feel like, maybe that's something that should be implemented with a lot of programs, what I mean, for a lot of the college kids and maybe in high school too, especially.
Yeah, because it makes a difference. And I try to help them make decisions in the long term. But I want them to really be able to, they don't need me. I'm going to teach them and I'm going to help them be able to use their own brains and be able to use them in a way that is serving for themselves and for what they want to do in life. But I don't want them to have to, if they needed me, I'm going to be here, but I don't want them to have to feel like, no, Coach K told me. Coach K has to tell me what's going on. She has to help me with this. And that's what I try to do. And that carries over onto the floor. So a lot of times when I actually have my meetings with my players, a lot of times I have meetings specifically for off the court stuff. And if there's a game and there's really a breakdown where we need to discuss a certain like mental aspect that happened in that game and let's figure out what happened, but it's not oh, you need to do more ball handling. Oh, it's more of what's stopping you from doing the ball handling that you actually want to do. You know what I mean? And like it was funny because I used to be so different and it would just be like, either you have it or you don't. Come on, let's go. So many coaches like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, now I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much bigger picture to everything.
It is, and everyone is different and everyone is unique in their own right. So it helps when you have that extra something to provide to pull that out of them. So I think that is absolutely phenomenal. And I know I definitely want to do a part 2 with you for sure, because I don't think we've even tapped into everything that we could possibly cover, but we're definitely going to do that. So be ready for that. Before I let you go though, I want to put you in a hot seat. I'm going to ask you about 4 questions that I literally just thought of just now. So, pretty random, but pretty basic though. So hot seat questions before I let you go. First question, who is your favorite WNBA coach?
Okay, so my favorite WNBA coach would be the Aces coach. I think his name, Bill Lambier. Is that?
There you go. Okay, awesome.
I don't know if I said it right. Yeah.
Favorite NBA coach?
Oh man. Of all time?
Yeah, we'll say of all time.
Will Jackson.
There it is. Go. Coach Kobe, he's awesome. Who is do you have a favorite NBA player?
Of all time?
Yeah, we'll do one of all time and then one active player.
Okay, so favorite player of all time, I know the norm would just be like Michael Jordan. But I've always liked we'll just go with Michael Jordan because I know that's easy. But here's the thing. This is the reason I like Jordan. And everybody goes with the GOAT and who's the GOAT and whatever and who's better. But here's the thing, is Jordan had that it thing. He had that it factor where if he wasn't good at it, he was going to go almost go get good at it overnight. Yeah. He was going to come back the next day and be like the best at it, not just okay at it. He was going to come and shatter records and do whatever it was. And it almost was, he just had that. And it didn't matter what it was. He was demanding as a player. He was obviously, I never met him personally. So there's people that say, oh, well, what about this? And what about, I don't care. He went, and if there was something he didn't have in his game, he went and figured it out.
Facts. Those are absolute facts. He, and I, in watching the documentary, because I wasn't a huge fan until I saw the documentary. I'm not going to say I'm a huge fan now, but I will say that I respect his game a lot more. And I understand his, the way that he was doing it. Like there was a method to his madness. He definitely was, I could say, probably one of the hardest working players ever. And he had to work hard to be great. A lot of people thought it was just, it came out of osmosis or it was just sheer talent. Facts, yes, he was talented, but he also was dedicated to working hard at his craft. So I have to give him props where props is due. So who's your favorite WNBA player of all time?
Come on, that's the one that I know. That is the one that I actually am all right, Sue Bird. Done. That's easy. For me, that one's easy. Sue Bird. And if Breanna Stewart plays long enough, it'll be probably Breanna Stewart. But right now, just Sue Bird she's the total package.
Absolutely. Just in case, if people want to learn more information about you, if they want to possibly follow you on your social medias, what would be your social media handles?
Okay, so on Facebook, it's just Kendra Aaron. And then I have one for my life coaching, which is Coach Kendra Aaron. And then Instagram, Twitter are both at Coach K Aaron. So at Coach K Aaron, all one word. And then, I guess at is the at symbol. Is that bad? I'm I feel so old that I have to, is that what you say? I'm you say Twitter or what's your social media handles, and I don't even know what that is. I feel old.
You're not the only one. Don't worry about it. Oh my God, I had such a blast with you. Oh my God, this has been just so amazing. Like I said, we're definitely going to do a part 2 if you're up for it. So stay tuned for that. I do want to thank everyone else for tuning in. Thank you so much. Stay safe out there. And remember, until next time, who said it's a man's world? Women love sports too. We'll catch you guys next time.
Who said it's a man's world?